Good morning, everyone. This is Matthias Chang, once again from Future Fast Forward. Today, my topic for discussion is unique and will shock many people, including UMNO members. But let me say this in advance, that sometimes what people say has a boomerang effect beyond the imagination and beyond the contemplation. They have forgotten that words have effects, unintended consequences. That's why I say in this morning address that UMNO has lynched Najib. He will either die through political lynching, meaning political hanging, or he will die politically by being shoved and pushed over the edge of the precipice. Why have I used such dramatic, such dire words and expression to describe the current situation? It's all because of what Najib has said over the last week, culminating in the weekend, and the response of some of the leading cronies, stupid cronies of Najib. Now, it is very important for lay people to try to understand some of the statements made by the UMNO leaders and try to read between the lines, but more importantly, to be able to understand the effect and consequences of their statements. First of all, let me bring to your attention what Najib has said when he was in Indonesia, before the Metro TV. The key words are, I want to say that what was done by the DOJ recently does not involve me, keywords, does not involve me or the Malaysian government or what MDB directly. This is what he said to the Metro TV in Indonesia. The suit named 5 people. This is not a criminal suit, but a civil suit. The 1MDB issue is a business issue, but it has been politicized by certain enemies, he added. And this was reported by Reuters, an international reputable news agency. Thus far, Najib or his press department or spokesman has not denied that these are his words. So we should assume that Reuters, and rightly so, has quoted Najib correctly. And the keywords, as I said, he said was like, does not involve me. The word involve is very pertinent. Or the Malaysian government or 1MDB directly. The DOJ recently does not, what was done by DOJ recently does not involve me or the Malaysian government or 1MDB directly. So let's analyze some of these keywords. Does not involve me. Bear that word in mind. Involved. Then he qualifies. What was done by DOJ does not involve 1MDB directly or the Malaysian government. Let's pause here. If something does not involve you directly, the correct conclusion must be it involved him indirectly. It will involve the 1MDB indirectly. It will involve the Malaysian government indirectly. In any event, indirectly means there is a connection. So you'll be thinking that a Prime Minister, in preparing his statement, would have his words analyzed, debated by his whole team. And yet, they chose these words. Additionally, insofar as he is concerned, the words was, what was done by the DOJ recently does not involve me. Emphasize the word involve me. Now, why did he choose those words, does not involve me? I put to you, that was the biggest mistake he made, whether it was done consciously or unconsciously. Because in trying to extricate himself from the fiasco, from the criminal action pending in United States of America, he has in fact lynched and hung himself by the neck before the whole country. Okay? And because he says that this is a silver suit. You recall some time ago, I brought to your attention the meaning and the consequences of a silver forfeiture under the criminal law in USA. Let me remind you again. You remember? Money laundering forfeiture statutes. Under two situations, criminal 18 USC 982A1 and civil 18 981A1C. Both sections, authorize civil and criminal forfeiture of all property involved in a violation of 1956 or 1957. Focus on the word involved in. Alright? Very important. Okay? Again, the next item you must bear in mind is the meaning of involved in money laundering. Any property involved in a transaction in violation of 18 USC 1956, 1957 or 1960, or any property traceable to such property can be forfeited. Bear these words in mind, particularly the word involved in. Alright? Bear that in mind. Next, what property is involved in violation of 1956 or 1957? Read carefully, study carefully. Property involved in should be read broadly and includes actual money or other property being laundered. Any property used to facilitate the money laundering offense. In two cases, the first in Re 650 Fifth Avenue and related properties, it was found by the court holding that property used to facilitate the money laundering offense is involved in the offense. In that case, against Nicolo, the term involved in has consistently been interpreted broadly by courts to include any property involved in, used to commit or used to facilitate the money laundering offense. Alright? And then, following from those words, proceeds of specific unlawful activity offense are profitable. Two cases are mentioned here. United States against Huber. The fraud proceeds obtained by third parties as part of the scheme and then transferred to defendant as part of money laundering offense were forfeitable as part of the corpus of the offense. In the other case, in Re 650 Fifth Avenue against related properties, property involved in or traceable to money laundering includes the funds laundered. Alright? Then, lastly, subject matter of the transaction. Commingled property is forfeiture. It says here, it is not necessary for all of the money involved in the money laundering transaction to be dirty. If the money laundering transaction involves commingled money, the clean money along with the dirty money can be forfeited. In the case of the United States against real property, it says that where less than half of money used to buy real property was proceeds of food stamp fraud, property was forfeitable in its entirety because the purchase was a violation of Section 1957. So, fellow Malaysians, you will see how the US statutes to prevent money laundering, corruption and racketeering use a very special word, involved in. It's no coincidence. Therefore, Najib says, I'm not involved in, to give the illusion and the lie, the big lie, that is not in any way connected to all the assets and monies seized in another states of America, UK and Switzerland. But anyone reading the 136 pages of the DOJ complaint filed in court showed very clearly, step by step by step, how monies borrowed from NDB and all the monies that was laundered, defrauded, and corruptly used by what MDB, the federal rapists, the criminal cabal, and the political leadership of UMNO was diverted into various ways. Some were used to purchase those assets which are now being forfeited and seized by the Attorney General of US and the Attorney General in California, in US, UK and Switzerland. And as explained to you earlier, the word involved must be used broadly and interpreted broadly. Even if some of the money in the pot, in the account, is clean money, but if you commingle with money laundered, the whole thing is forfeitable. The whole sum can be seized by the government under this act. So, Najib was trying to be too clever. He used the word, does not involve me. But as I said before in my previous address, the action in America is first to seize the assets, tank up the assets, to prevent the crooks, the criminals, and the federal rapists not to dissipate, to remove or hide the assets or proceeds of the crime. And why initially those properties, the hotels, the mansions, the bungalows, the townhouses, is because those properties were registered. Emphasize, hak milik, the title was registered in the name of Rizal Aziz, the stepson of Najib and Jolo and Jolo companies and the other Arabs, part of the criminal cabal. It's all their names. So therefore, the seizure is to go after the property registered in their names. Part 1 of the overall criminal investigation. We're not going to part 2. And let me say this, to all Malaysians, Najib has said that he hopes that the people mentioned in the complaint will go to court to prove their innocence. Let's watch. And they have to do so by the 22nd of August. So let's be patient. Because if by 22nd of August, Rizal Aziz, Joe Low, Jasmine Lu, Tariq Obeid, and all these people fail to appear in court to challenge the seizure to that extent, all the evidence will become conclusive and we go beyond the next stage and go after them in action in personam. There will be criminal action. Now, having said that, having given this background, one would have thought that the so-called leaders of UMNO, members of MKT, Supreme Council, will be very, very cautious, very circumspect, will have sought legal advice before they open their mouth and let filth and rubbish pour out. But no, you see the arrogance of UMNO members. They mock us. They mock you. They think you're so stupid that whatever they say will register in your mind and will influence you and will brainwash you. Remember, initially, the Attorney General, none other than Tan Sri Pandi says, Najib is innocent. He's not involved because he was not named in the complaint, and NO, Malaysian Official 1, does not refer to Najib. Initially, that was his reaction. He issued a statement. Alright? But now, he has confirmed that MO1, Malaysian Official 1, in fact refers to Najib. Bear that in mind. Okay? So one person who's a lawyer, the Attorney General, who initially says Najib is not named, now realize that the facts surrounding Malaysian Official 1 leads to Najib. It's as simple as that. You know why? I can say that the ministers who have spoken, Sharizad, Sabri Cheek, Khairi, Rahman Dahlan, alright, and all the rest are so stupid because they forgot that in everyday crime, if you are in a coffee shop witness a crime of an armed robbery, say for example, and a woman is injured or murdered lying on the roadside bleeding, what will the police do? Besides having a closed-circuit television or camera capturing, what happened and seen the crime, they will also ask, witnesses to describe what happened. And none of the witness would know the name of the criminals, who robbed and killed someone. So they will say, for example, I saw one China Kwai, 5'10", for example, white hair, wearing a blue shirt, jeans, and was riding a motorcycle, wielding a knife. He had an accomplice, a Malay man, 35 years old, 5'2" maybe, very young, 28 years old, also wearing jeans, and was riding pillion on a motorbike when he ran away. These are all the description about two of the criminals. And quite often, acting on these bare identification factors and facts and information, the police will conduct investigation and in fact sometimes able to capture the criminals purely on the basic evidence of witnesses pointing without even knowing the name or where they live. Alright? And yet, how stupid was the initial reaction of the Attorney General that Najib was innocent purely because he was not named. But there were other identifying factors pointing to Najib. Yet, we have this incredible statement, okay, by a MP, member of parliament, all right? This idiot, scumbag, okay, his name, okay, is a member of the Supreme Council. And he gave a statement. Supreme Council did not discuss MO1. Nobody knew who it was. Can you imagine what lie he was telling? The UMNO Supreme Council, which met last week, did not discuss Malaysian Official 1, mentioned in the United States Department of Justice, DOJ, court filings against the alleged abuse of 1MDB funds, according to Kinabatangan MP Bang Mokhtar Radin. However, he said the issue of court filings was raised during the meeting. We didn't discuss it because nobody knew what MO1 was. You see? Another stupid statement. And yet, earlier, the Attorney General has already considered that MO1 is Najib. But this guy says there was a meeting in the Supreme Council and no one discussed who was MO1, Malaysian Official 1. So, can you see now? One contradiction, one inconsistency, and one stupid statement from a scumbag asshole. Now, this is ridiculous, man. Okay. By this stupidity, am I not saying that UMNO has lynched and hanged politically Najib? And that rope has now been tightened further because Rahman Dahlan, minister, only an idiot won't know MO1 is Najib. You see? There's no mystery about Malaysian Official 1. Only an idiot doesn't know who that person is. He said at a press conference, I think those who are familiar with the issues and read the court documents would know who is MO1. But he qualified. The most important question is why they put Malaysian Official 1 in the court papers instead of directly naming one. Malaysia Kini didn't ask. They only asked who is what MO1. Why is that they didn't name him but named MO1? The reason why the person wasn't named Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak is because he's not involved or part of the investigation. Can you imagine? So, the first part of the statement exposed the stupidity, the immaturity, and the emptiness, hollowness of Bank, who said this was discussed in MKT, and no one knows who's MO1. But here, Rahman Dahlan says, only an idiot doesn't know who is MO1. The MO1 is Najib. But he went to qualify. That does not mean that he's involved or part of the investigation. See, he used the word involved. How stupid! When I've already explained to you what involved is to be interpreted widely, and because the forfeiture in the United States at this stage of the proceedings is concerned with property registered in the name of those people. Those properties are not registered in the name of Najib. But that doesn't mean Najib is not involved in the investigation. You see, he said he has read the complaint. But if anyone reading the complaint, and I said before, I challenge Rahman Dahlan, I challenge this punk, this MP. Look at his face, a face of stupidity. Both of them. To prove me wrong. That in fact, everyone involved in 1MDB will ultimately end in the criminal investigation. And then, my God, Kyrie then jumped on the bandwagon and asked a question. What wrong has been committed by UMNO President and Prime Minister Najib Razak with regards to the so-called civil suit filed by the US Department of Justice. And he says, and I quote, "The claims made in these investigative findings have yet to be proven, but suddenly there are calls for Najib to step down and many more. I can't accept this because this government and the Prime Minister had received the people's mandate." However, Kari reiterated that the forfeiture suits had nothing to do with the Malaysian government, nor did it directly implicate Najib or 1MDB. Directly. Those individuals' names still had a chance to fight for their case in court, he stressed. You see? All of them, like parrots, singing the same tune. Not involved. Not involved. You see? How bad they are. And this Kyrie is supposed to be a graduate from Oxford, He's been touted as intellectual, has some brain cells. But in the effort to bodak, to ampu Najib, he has in fact tightened the noose around Najib's neck. And by their actions and by their words, they have hung Najib politically. And Najib will be hanged politically. Right? It's a matter of time before, he's kaput. How stupid can they be? And yet, we are told that we must put a place of trust in these leaders. These very same leaders shout, Allahu Akbar. We are the guardians of the Malay race, the country, and Islam. This statement is an insult, a blasphemy. Because Islam, as the religion, upholds the rule of law, justice, and truth. It's not meant to be used as a political propaganda to cover crimes, to cover wrongdoing, to cover immorality. Now, worse, then you have another idiot, a scumbag, the Chief Minister of Malacca, Idris Harun, who claimed that the US Department of Justice court filings in relation to 1MDB scandal is part of a political ploy to unseat the Malays. Oh my God. He claimed the US authorities had not approached 1MDB, but out of the blue came its explosive allegations. My God. You see? Diversion. The Malays. It's an attack on the Malays. Alright? First is UMNO, now the whole nation of Malays are involved. But he forgot. When Najib played golf with Obama, these scumbags and other Malay leaders in UMNO said, wow, US is a friend of Malays, of UMNO, of BN. Najib is a world leader, the only world leader who could play golf with Obama in Hawaii. A friend, a staunch ally. But now, the Attorney General appointed by Obama in pursuit of truth and justice has overnight become an enemy of the Malays. Oh my God. You see? They don't even think before they speak. How they use religion and race to whip up emotions, to mislead, to brainwash your minds, especially the Malays. Because this is a statement from the Chief Minister of Malacca. On what basis, you scumbag, can you say that the action by the DOJ, the Attorney General, is an attempt to unseat the Malays? Have you got any proof? Would you dare swear on the Quran? Would you dare swear on the Islamic Declaration as the special officer of FBI, who swore on the last page of the DOJ complaint that he swore on the pain of perjury that if he lied, he will go to jail for lying. That what he said was the truth. I dare you, scumbag, you racist, you bigot, you bankrupt politician, you gangster politician, to swear on the Quran that you have evidence to show that the Attorney General, in filing the complaint, is to attempt to unseat. It's a political ploy to unseat the Malays. Okay? If you can't come out with any evidence within 1 week from today, I'm calling you a liar, a scumbag, a political gangster, a cheat, an immoral person, that you have blasphemed. You are a disgrace to your country, to your race, and to your religion. And I challenge you to sue me if you can't prove that. Because you make this statement, a public statement, which incite racial animosity and misunderstanding. Let's see whether you'll be charged for sedition, you scumbag. And lastly, the ultimate diversion by the Prime Minister. He says that he refused to be a puppet of Mahathir. That Mahathir is obsessed in controlling him. But this Prime Minister forgot to tell you that in fact he requested the help of Tun Mahathir in the 30th general election to campaign for him. Alright? And Tun Mahathir, in good faith at that time, didn't know that the crimes have been committed already. The monies have been diverted to the personal pockets of his accomplices. Let me say this. It is he, Najib, who's obsessed with control. You know why? Because the Articles of Association, or 1MDB, the Charter, right? The document that empowers Najib is that only he alone, not the board of directors, not the board of advisors, he alone, by virtue as the finance minister, has the sole authority to approve, to sign everything that concerns 1MDB, his authorization. Absolute control of all the monies. Every joint venture, every agreement. He even sacked the auditors. Every payment must have his authorization. Absolute control. And yet he says he is not involved at all in the scandal of MDB or in any investigation but overseas. The Attorney General of Switzerland, the Swiss authorities have already come out with a statement that all these people are part of the investigation. Don't you have any shame? See, my fellow Malaysians, Saudara-saudari, you know what they're doing to you? They're mocking you. They know they're lying. But the way they go about saying it as if they are telling the truth. You know why? And they're so arrogant, so confident that they will get away with their lies because they think you, fellow Malaysians, men, women, and children who can speak and think, are all idiots, are all stupid, brainless, brainwashed. That's why they say this. Okay, see? They're mocking you. No shame, no remorse, no regret. Instead, goes on and on. Like a tape recorder, blaring out their innocence when they're guilty. Blaring out that they are fit to lead when they're scumbags. But worse is this, all right? Knowing that the leader, Najib Razak, is a crook, a criminal, they didn't even have the courage of their conviction, the backbone to remove him. What does it mean? I'm telling you, fellow Malaysians, that means there's no one in UMNO, Supreme Council, or any other leader that can lead the country. They have to hang on to the coattails of Najib. Can you imagine? How bankrupt is the entire leadership of UMNO? And then they say, UMNO now is a savior. They have no choice but to hang on to Najib. For without Najib, the Malay will collapse, the Malay race. The Malay will be attacked by the US. Yet this same Malay leader tells all of us we must remain united to face the infidels, to face the external threat, a threat from USA. But he doesn't explain to you that he has, by saying so, he has failed to reconcile that the same enemy he's attacking now, he played golf with. That shows, right, how empty, how stupid is our leadership. And God forbid that you will fall for this rubbish. And finally, let me tell you something, let me share something with you. In the complaint of the DOJ, there were reference that Joe Low telephoned Najib before a board meeting, approving the first transaction, the sham joint venture between 1MDB and Petro Saudi. There were also conversations, transcript, between 1MDB and Deutsche Bank. 1MDB misleading Deutsche Bank as to who was authorized to receive 700 million US dollars. Misled Deutsche Bank to send the money to JP Morgan, to RB Coast, and then to Good Star, in order to comply with the laws and the inquiries of Deutsche Bank to know who is the ultimate beneficiary of the 700 million. 1MDB conversation with Deutsche Bank compliance officer shows very clearly that Deutsche Bank was misled by that the 1MDB officer. There was another conversation between Bank Negara official and Deutsche Bank. Telephone conversation, right? 2 instances of hardcore definitive evidence that 1MDB cheated, lied, misled, misrepresented not only to Bank Negara but to Deutsche Bank and all the other banks, and were complicit in the diversion of the money from 1MDB to Joe Low. And who's behind all these things? Najib. So let me tell you, the investigators in US, in UK, and Switzerland have other evidence, other phone calls, which in time will be disclosed. Okay, let me tell you, right now, you ought to know, and this MKT members ought to know, because Edward Snowden disclosed, was a whistleblower, how America, UK can track every phone call by a system called the treasure map. Okay, very quickly. Why do you have a treasure map? Because bad guys are everywhere, good guys are somewhere. And they have this system to track all conversation. Check it out, lah. This intelligence, solid intelligence. And what is treasure map? Read carefully. Has the capability for building a near real-time interactive map of the global internet. Map the entire internet, any device, anywhere, all the time. Stupid assholes. Read again. Generation of global internet map. Focus on logical layers, router and autonomous systems, but touches physical, data, link, and application layers. It's huge. Then it says the current situation. It tracks all data sources. Alright? And there are 5 eyes partners that monitor every conversation, every transaction in the global internet. Okay? And new capabilities are delivered every 90 days. 30 plus gigabytes of additional data added and replaced per day. This is the resources. Tracking your nonsense. This is a global situation. Global. Every country throughout the world is part of this system. And yet, we are told that there are no evidence at all of this crime and complicity at the highest level of government. In conclusion, let me just read to you that if we in Malaysia, especially UMNO leaders, you scumbags, if you're not careful, more will come out. So let me say, don't brag, don't be arrogant. Why? It says here, Treasure Map is not only able to hack broadband networks belonging to internet service providers, IPS, around the world, but also monitors every single landline and mobile network running in the world in order to create an accurate visualization of the world's data traffic. Countries in the Five Eyes Alliance, 5 major countries, right? US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. These are Five Eyes Alliance. These 5 countries run this treasure map, this system. Okay? The NSA, together with UK, GCHQ, have huge warehouse filled with racks of servers and telecoms equipment, and are usually placed in remote locations where they route much of the world's data traffic. The NSA documents state that the owners of these data centers are not aware that servers have been implanted in their facilities, intercepting data traffic from countries like South Africa, Singapore, China, Taiwan, Malaysia. Hey, scumbags, note that Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Russia, Germany, Poland, Denmark, Latvia, Ukraine, Argentina, and Brazil. And this system mentions, right, 11 international ISPs and telecom providers which are covered by the system. Singapore Singtel, Australia Telstar, Pakistan ParkNet, and server hosting firm IS Prime in US, Telecom Malaysia, and others. So, you scumbag UMNO idiots, you think your conversations can be kept secret? What the DOJ complaint has shown by few transcripts, that you are naked Understand? You can't hide anymore. So stop your bloody lies. And you UMNO supporters, cronies of Najib, don't think by beating up the drum, all thunder and no rain, you can protect Najib. In fact, what you do has what we call unintended consequences. You have taken such a big hole for him to fall in that he can't get out. Or some would prefer, you give him a rope to hang himself so tight he can't get out of the noose. And each statement you make, you tighten the noose. So, in a way, I have to thank you, idiots, scumbags. Please continue your good work. Continue your silly statements. Continue your false propaganda, because no one can kill politically Najib better than you scumbags in UMNO. Good riddance to bad rubbish. So in conclusion, let me tell to all of you, my fellow Malaysians, why I always say surrender to the will of God completely. Has absolute faith that He'll protect us, defend us, and guide us under all circumstances, in the face of all enemies and adversities. Because God works in mysterious ways. You see, we have tried to explain. Some understand, some don't. But the words, the statements, the actions of UMNO leaders themselves is the best evidence, best proof that the entire UMNO leadership is a crime syndicate. They can't even be consistent. They fight among each other to prove who is a bigger, better crony supporter of Najib. But in the process, they trip, they stumble, they fall, and they show their stupid ass to the whole world while buried their head in the sand. Can you see how stupid they are? So once again, before I conclude, may I say to all of you, my fellow Malaysians, have confidence. Do not despair. The light is end of the tunnel. I can see it, and you can see it in a matter of time. Before the year is out, the water will come to the boil. The clock is ticking to the final hour. And then you will see. Truth will prevail, justice will prevail, and our country will regain its self-respect, self-esteem, and true defenders, genuine champions of Agama, of our Negara, of our race will come forward. Not these scumbags, these traitors. With that, I thank you for your attention, and I hope you have a good day and a good week to come. God bless you all. Thank you.